Oh, we got audio. Let's go, baby. It did. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. That was kind of crazy, but we here. Welcome to Power Inherent People. Powered by Operation Wisdom. You dig what I'm saying? Grand Rising, Troy. Grand Rising, Lori. I hope y'all are doing well. We in this thing. What's up? Okay, so, I'm going to start it off like this. Sergeant Curtis doesn't fully understand the Constitution. I don't think he understands what natural rights are. I don't think he understands what creator endowed rights are. What's up, Ralph? What's up, Doug? I don't know what he knows. But what I know is we're about to go through one of the, I don't want to say he's a hater, but I think he's just in a belief system. He's caught in a belief system. His education's not up. I don't think he's understanding what rights really are. And I don't like to ridicule. I'm not that type of person. Y'all know that. And I've never really put in time to kind of rebut haters out there. But I think I want to just kind of like, hopefully this is a reach out to Sergeant Curtis and his following. And hopefully they learn something from someone who knows the depths of true freedom and what it means to be an American. I'm an American. I'm not from another country. I'm born in this land. This is God's country. And I've got creator endowed rights. The Bible says that. Many other religions say that. And nothing can be taken away from my creator endowed rights. If things go against my creator endowed rights, if things go outside of my faith, without hurting anybody, come on now, let's be logical here. It truly is a violation of my life. In legalese or in legal terms, it's called irreparable harm. So for people who are not understanding this, I need y'all to start understanding the true depths of this. And we're going to go through his video that he did of me on a stop. And I'm going to point out some things that I find really concerning, because it's like every person of the public throughout this review that he's doing of the video, he seems like he always has to be tense and scared. Now, I understand that could happen because you're always in situations that are high tense, but not every person is like that, bro. People just be cool. Like me, I got nothing bad to say about you. Hopefully through this video, you can be educated a little bit and just understand the depths of it, right? So, and then one more thing. You're calling me a sovereign citizen. And I understand that you've been taught through your training and what's online and just the mass majority of this cognitive dissonance that we're seeing here, that you don't understand the depths of that term. But hopefully I can help you, Sergeant Curtis, understand the depths of that term. And I'm a historian. You falsely labeled me a lawyer on your channel, sovereign citizen lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, okay? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a bar card attorney, okay? I'm an attorney in fact, bro, right? There's lots of cars. There's lots of trucks, okay? There's lots of types of attorneys. I am an attorney in fact. On the record in court, a judge has said, well, you said you were an attorney. And I've said, yes, Your Honor, I am. I'm an attorney in fact. I'm the one who can speak on the facts as they happen the best. So I am representing myself, an attorney in fact. I just need y'all to kind of understand, like, there's more than one type of attorney, y'all, right? Hello? Just like there's many types of farmers, many types of doctors. I'm an attorney, in fact. I'm not a lawyer. Okay, come on, guys. Let's get up to par here. All right, so let's get into his video. Because, man, I want to be nice. I want to be cordial. I want to be polite. I want freedom to reign supreme. And I want people to understand the truth. I don't think that we should be having to go through these things where ignorance is on the table. Okay. So let's get this going.
I'm going to get an Uber because you're just harassing. Yeah, get an Uber.
By the way, I didn't get an Uber. I don't think I got an Uber. Did I get an Uber? No, I think I just waited and they left. Then I drove off or rode off because I don't drive. But let's get this audio down. Sorry, y'all. All right, go back to it.
So often we've seen sovereigns mix and match the laws and words and put them the way that they want to, and most of the time they're really not very good. Sometimes it's very laughable, but sometimes you meet the executive chef of word salads.
So I'm an executive chef. Thank you for the compliment. At least I have the executive beforehand. And if I'm a chef, that's cool because I'm cooking up this word salad and putting it all together. Okay. I guarantee you it's better than Olive Garden. It's got cheese on top. It's got all the croutons. My shit gonna be top notch. Okay. So if I'm the chef, hey, let it be known, Killer Cam over here cooking up. Okay. And he's cooking up because he has a comprehension of his rights.
One of those.
How you doing?
Officer Snyder, Union Gap Police Department.
Nice to meet you.
Well, the reason I stopped you is you were passing on the shoulder.
Okay.
That's not legal.
It's not legal?
Nope. Can I get your license, registration, and insurance,
I'll
please?
give you my name and information. That's
You
all
don't-
I have
do you-
with me right now.
You do not have a license?
No, I don't have a license whatsoever. I don't use the roads in a commercial capacity. Here in Yakima and in Washington, the Attorney General, I'm an attorney, by the way. Here in Washington, the Attorney General has already dictated the aspect that all road usage, well, it depends on if you have a contract or not, whether you're using it commercially.
What's pretty cool too is I'm wearing the this kind of sucks in a sense, but it's cool in a sense too. I'm wearing a vintage America's Most Wanted shirt.
Or not commercial.
Are we doing the sovereign thing?
No, I'm not a sovereign. I'm an
Okay,
attorney.
so what's your name?
My name is. I'm an attorney for real.
Ding, 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 commercial, roadways, sovereign. We're dealing with a sovereign.
Not even being.
We're dealing with a sovereign and a laugh. Well, I'll take that. I'll take that you're saying that we're dealing with a sovereign. Okay, that's fine with me. I have no problems with that. We'll leave it though. Yeah, I'm not gonna go yet.
Yes, and then also right now is the aspect that the definitions of both municipal and county codes here in Washington.
What's your date of birth, Cameron?
Just one more, but the aspects here in the state of Washington, first off, here in Yakima specifically, both road and street is defined as open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. So the legislature has narrowly tailored the legislature not to violate any constitutional rights due to the aspect that it is all about the consent of the governor. Meaning that if I'm using the roads in a commercial capacity whatsoever, then of course, right, there's an issue. But I have no contract with the state. I do not have no driver's license with the state. I have not given up my consent to the right to a locomotion and free travel.
Okay. What's your middle name?
And the middle name is James.
All right, sit tight for me.
Hey, are you aware of Rodriguez versus United States?
No.
You don't know what that state?
So this cop admits he don't know about that case, Rodriguez versus United States, and the rules, okay, thereof in relation to writing a citation. That's why I'm asking. Here you'll hear me talk about the assumptions and presumptions, right? Because I have to put them on notice. I have to invoke rights, bro.
As far as
Nope. What I do know is that you were riding your motorcycle illegally on a public road in the state of Washington.
Okay, Rodriguez versus U.S. Actual Supreme Court case. I think it's 2015. And what it states is that the police cannot extend the stop past what they're doing on the initial stop. If they're writing a traffic citation for speeding, they write it for the speeding. They can't extend it like to have K9 come and search around the vehicle.
Like K9 come, not just K9, extending the stop beyond a de minimis amount whatsoever. So not just a K9, any extension beyond the reason in which they stopped said person for the traffic stop.
Vehicle after they're done with their traffic stop. Your initial investigation is your initial investigation. Can't extend it.
And you don't have a license.
correct, I don't need to have a license.
I mean, you do.
No, according to the Washington Attorney General and their opinions, as well as Supreme Court
All right,
Justice.
sit
Hold
tight
up,
for me.
just
No, sit tight for me. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm not making an assumption. Sit tight for me.
Deputy, don't play that. This sovereign stuff is going in one ear and out the other.
So this constitutionally established law is going in one ear and out the other. That's crazy. So this Sergeant Curtis just admitted that it's a real case. Okay. You just admitted and went through that they can't extend the stop, but you're saying it's going in one ear and out the other. So you validate what I'm bringing forth as far as my claims. I haven't stated anything that is outside of the realm of true reality, but yet I'm already getting called a sovereign. Why is that? Well, because I'm free. That's number one. I'm not necessarily, well, I'll even take the term sovereign citizen because the term did not come from the FBI. It was reclassified by the FBI, and then everybody just ran with that. Like, that's like if I have an agency and they just come out and say, oh, well, this word doesn't mean this word anymore, so we're changing it. It's like 1984, bro. You can't do that. You can't just go and change history and what a true sovereign citizen meant. That's the problem, is like everybody just looks at what is told in this very short period of time as far as what a sovereign citizen is, but then they not going into the depths of where did the term come from? Has nobody heard of etymology? Does nobody look into where the word and the sounds originate from as far as words and what they're saying? Do you not know that the term sovereign citizen has been being used for a very long time and connotates true, real freedom at the highest status that one can have? Like, what don't you understand about that? So when y'all out here be saying sovereign citizen, it just shows me, not to be rude, but the ignorance level of what you have in relation to that term, that you've been told something to believe, and instead of actually validating that truth, you just parrot everybody else. This is not to be rude. This is not to be, I'm better and I'm more holy. I want to educate you, please, so that we can get past the ignorance so that rights are respected again. That is what is most important here. We'll get there. Not yet. We'll get there.
Sovereign. 438 on 2.
438.
Can you start me a second unit? I'll be at the Hofsteiner parking lot.
Please keep them code.
Negative, just a sovereign.
Radio air. Requested another unit. Dispatch said, do you need them code? Do you need them to roll faster to your scene, lights or siren? The officer said, no, it's a sovereign. I just want to have another unit. Wise move. I'm also noticing in the passenger seat, the person who did not get out. Whenever I see that, I usually think it's a civilian ride along. Something to take note of from a safety perspective, because you have a civilian inside the vehicle with you.
What's up, man?
Yeah, just as a matter of fact, as well, like where we was at was in Yakima and not Union Gap, by the way.
I observed you in Union Gap.
And the only place where I actually got over into the side was exactly in front of right in front of Valvoline's, which is actually Yakima.
No, it's Union Gap.
I'm looking at the address, bro.
I happen to work for Union Gap, so I know where it is.
Well, this is right where I did it, right in front of the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, that's Union Gap.
No, it says the address is Yakima.
Bro, it's Union Gap.
Okay, so what you're hearing now is an argument over jurisdiction. This subject is arguing that the officer likely does not have jurisdiction to conduct the stop. People are usually wrong with
He can do however he wants to call people, but to call people subjects, again, this man, Cameron, I'm a man, bro. I'm a creation of the creator. I'm a living being. I'm not a subject. I'm not subject to other people, bro. We are equal. To say that I am we the people, and then to say that police are just like above me and have more authority over me at all blanket times, everybody knows that's not true. Come on now, y'all. So to be called a subject is just, I'm not subjecting to really anyone, bro. I stand in truth and honor, respect, loyalty, and integrity, and I have morals. So please give me that respect, bro, if you don't mind.
they make that argument. The officer's pretty clear about the fact that he does have that jurisdiction. However, I have a huge challenge with the officer conducting business with this subject while he's standing outside of his driver door, sitting inside of the car. The normal, in my opinion, best practice is to step out of the vehicle and not let the person get on top of you like that. There are a lot of different bad things that could potentially happen sitting inside the car and interacting with the person like that.
See, the fear there is always being presented. This is Sergeant Curtis channel. It's like, I get that you have to be on alert, bro, but you could also just be like pretty chill too. Like if that's the point is as far as what I've been talking about, recently, is we need to have unity with our community rather than looking at everybody as a possible issue. I think the first mode of action should be, let's look at this person as me, right? Because there's a depth there of understanding. I don't know. It's my faith. Excuse me that, I believe in a great creator. I believe in God. I believe that God lives within me. I believe that God lives within every single person. I believe that we should treat life and cherish life like no other, because we've taken life for granted almost. Like, it's almost like this shit's a video game now to people, to where, oh, they're gone. They're extinguished. It's over with. People laugh about it and they're not cherishing that life. And that's what I need us to start doing again, is start cherishing each other's lives. You may not know me, bro, but I am a life. I am a father. I am a son. I am a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And we need to start having that initial respect. Like when I first met up with this officer, I said, "Hey, my name is Cameron Wilson. Nice to meet you." And he said, "Nice." And then he caught himself and stopped from saying, "Nice to meet you as well." Right. So it's like he wanted to have that interaction, that pull, that community engagement. That's who he truly was. But he had the suit on right now. He had the suit on. So the suit personality is a different personality than who he even truly is. Right. So I think we just need to get back to having that link of commonality of, hey, I'm human too, bro. This ain't no crime I'm committing out here. You know what I'm saying? It's an infraction, a violation of your statutory color of law.
According to the map, it shows all Yakima.
All right. Well, go ahead and sit tight for me up there. What's up?
I was just gonna say, as far as everything is concerned, like, are you gonna issue the ticket so I can be on my way?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you gonna give any discretion, or are you just gonna give a warning for your boy, or how you gonna do this?
Oh no, you're gonna get a summons for court.
Oh, you want to give me a ticket?
Yeah.
Instead of just a warning?
No, I'm not gonna give you a warning because you just got a ticket in July.
In July?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not from you though.
No, it's not from me.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
So why would I give you a warning if you've already been cited for the same stuff that you're trying to pull right now?
Well, because I'm not guilty, that's why.
I mean, you're driving.
I'm not guilty, Bubba.
You're driving a motor vehicle without a license in the state of Washington.
Yes, and I've won every time in court.
All right.
I'm trying to tell you.
All right, so go wait over there. Go wait over there.
Okay.
438-2. Can you give me case number, criminal traffic, no readback? You can talk to him. You can talk to him if you want.
Is that your bike? Yeah.
Just need to get my citations and go. So Rodriguez versus United States says that the stop is not supposed to be extended upon a de minimis amount of time to issue the citations and let me go because there's no crime that's been committed whatsoever.
I explained Rodriguez already. The officer's writing the citation. The officer's well within his rights of whatever he's doing. This is how you can see the sovereign nonsense because he's misquoting what Rodriguez means when the officer's writing his citation.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I just need him to give the citation so that I can go, bro. That's all I'm simply saying. I'm not misstating anything or misquoting anything. I'm not misconstruing. I'm letting her know. She just came up, on the scene. So I needed to let her know. Okay. So for Curtis, Sergeant Curtis, it's not just that case, you know. This is for the audience and for Curtis, you know. And this is just so everybody can learn. This is from the Charleston division from a lawsuit, a civil action. This was last year in March. And this is from John, the civil rights attorney on YouTube. He's handling this case. And I'm sure y'all are all aware of him. And in here, I found this is actually an opinion from the judge that was working this case. Just to show y'all real quick. Thomas E. Johnson, again, in the Charleston division. And what I wanted to show y'all is this is a memorandum in an order of just some information here that I found in relation to what's going on currently, right, within our court systems. So the plaintiff contends, that would be me, right? Plaintiff would be those that are bringing the lawsuits. Contends that Deputy Ellison stated he initiated the stop because plaintiff was signaling to other drivers of the presence of another officer. Okay. For me, it would be Cameron went around a person in the right hand lane to make a turn. Okay. Okay. There does not appear to be a law in West Virginia that criminalizes such behavior. Being a criminal, committing a crime or harm to property or some other person via corpus delicti is an element. So taking the facts as the court must, in light most favorable to the plaintiff, which would be you and me bringing the lawsuit. Listen, okay, this is what they don't teach you on the back end is what's really going on in the courts. Deputy Ellison allegedly initiated the stop without reasonable suspicion. Suspicion of what? Said crime. Traffic infractions are not crimes. Before we even finish this, I just got to show you because he says it's true. We come in here in a little bit. We'll wait. I'll just come down. So everything that we mentioned in here is, again, unconstitutionally extending a stop by even a de minimis amount of time violates the Fourth Amendment. Hill, 852, and citing Rodriguez as well. Okay. So by just hurrying up and failing, if he was to fail in the process, that's why I'm mentioning it. to hand over written citations and prolonging the encounter, Deputy Ellison arguably made this stop longer than necessary to effectuate its purpose. Okay, we can reasonably assume if one is writing the tickets and then I'm stating I'm going to leave, but you stay there planted to say I'm just going to sit here and keep watching you, bro. You're not even in Union Gap no more. You're in Yakima. You now need to leave. You're done. You're outside of your jurisdiction harassing.
And actually, I don't have a license in Washington, nor do I have registration in Washington, so I'm not obligated to abide by any contracts. This isn't just something that I'm stating to you. I'm actually an attorney, and I've actually won several times in court or had the cases dismissed from prosecutors due to these facts. And I can explicitly show them right now. I have 3 federal cases in law suing police for violating my constitutional rights. So I really just like the tickets to be issued so I can be on my way because there's no crime that's been committed or that I've been suspected of either. And this is my private property, and due process states that by the Constitution that my property cannot be taken from me at any point in time unless there's a crime that's been suspected. Because I'm not obligated. I don't have a driver's license here in Washington. The Attorney General both has stated that through opinions, and then both Justice Tolman, the Supreme Court Justice Tolman, Toleman, saying that we have the right to travel here on the road.
Okay, so I looked up this. He said Washington Supreme Court Justice Tolman. Remember, they throw out a lot of stuff. So this is Warren W.
They. There is no they here. It's he throw, he, me. There is no they. Quit putting me in this pool. I ain't in your pool. What I am is I am. Okay, I'm free. I'm an individual. I'm a creation of the Creator. I'm a son of God. Okay, I'm a son of God, bro. That's what I am. I'm a son of God, bro. I'm not they. I'm Cameron James Wilson.
Tolman, Tolman, Tom Ocean Lincoln, Mary Adam Nora. This is who he said. 1861 to 1940 was a distinguished justice of the Washington Supreme Court, serving from 1918 to 1937. He's talking about this person who was a Supreme Court justice in 1937.
Okay, so what he just tried to do was make y'all think that a justice who made a like, I don't even understand it. Okay, so we got the Constitution back in 1776, right? We got the Constitution back all the way back then, and that's what you got to abide by. But you're gonna say something salty about something that a Supreme Court justice said back in 1937. Do you know that a lot of law that is still standing today is from 1937 or just a couple years around a proximity around that year? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like you want to say, oh, well, that's old, so it's invalidated. Bro, the base and foundation of all of our law is old. What are you talking about? The older you go back and look at what people was saying was more true in understanding that we are creations of the Creator and that we all have God-given rights, natural rights that can never be taken. So when I look at you saying that, like, oh, well, that was back in 1937. You're about to hear in just a moment start utilizing something for your perspective from 1963. It's only 30 years later. So what do you mean, bro? Now let's get into what justice. It's like the psychology trick that they try to play on people that just don't logically think. But all of us here can logically think and see through that. Like, dude, you just trying to like say it's invalidated because what? What you trying to invalidate it for? Because he was a Supreme Court justice back in the early 1900s? What? Okay, it's not letting me share my screen. Why? It's tripping. YouTube is tripping right now. All right, let's see. Geez, I don't know what keeps happening. YouTube is just acting wild with me. It just froze me out. All right, let's get back to it. So again, I'm a son of God, straight up. And to be, thrown into this pool of people that you say they, right? You say they, sovereign. That's kind of crazy to me. So let me get back to it. Jeez, YouTube be tripping, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's wild.
Rights of whatever he's doing. This is how you can see the sovereign nonsense because he's misquoting what Rodriguez means when the officer's writing his citation.
And actually, I don't have a license in Washington, nor do I have registration in Washington, so I'm not obligated to abide by any contracts. This isn't just something that I'm stating to you. I'm actually an attorney, and have actually won several times in court or had the cases dismissed from prosecutors due to these facts. And I can explicitly show them right now. I have 3 federal cases in law suing police for violating my constitutional rights. So I really just like the tickets to be issued so I can be on my way, because there's no crime that's been from me at any point in time, unless there's a crime that's been suspected, because I'm not obligated. I don't have a driver's license here in Washington. The Attorney General both has stated that through opinions, and then both Justice Tolman, the Supreme Court Justice Tolman, Tolman, saying that we have the rights to travel here on the road.
Okay, we saw
Okay,
this.
so I looked up this. He said Washington Supreme Court Justice Tolman. Remember, they throw out a lot of stuff. So this is Warren.
Okay, now what's crazy is he mentions this guy's name, but doesn't actually mention what he said. So there's no mention. He says, he's from 1937. I'm not trying to be rude, bro. I'm just really trying to get y'all to understand what's going on here. Okay, let's read this real quick. This is a memorandum, okay, in support of an abatement, okay, it's in the support of a motion to dismiss. Okay, now, if this is part of the memorandum, this memorandum I have submitted several times and had many of dismissals based on my motion to dismiss or abatement with this memorandum. Okay. If ever a judge understood the American people's rights to use the public roads, it was Justice Tolman of the Supreme Court of the state of Washington. Justice Tolman states, quote, complete freedom of the highways is so old and well established a blessing that we have forgotten the days of the robber barons and toll roads. And yet, under an act like this, arbitrarily administered, the highways may be completely monopolized if, through lack of interest, the people submit. Then they may look to see the most sacred of their liberties taken from them one by more or less rapid encroachment. Unquote. Do you understand that the further back we go, the further back we understand just how deep they comprehended the freedoms that we have here in America? This isn't like some joke here. The further back we go, the further back we get to the invasion of our rights. Our rights have been invaded. They have placed this colorable law as though it is over our natural rights, your creator endowed rights. Now, let me see if there's some more in here for Tolman, though, because I think Homeboy's got more quotes I got in here. Let's see what else I got. No, just those 3. Okay, cool. All right. So I just wanted to let you know that's a direct quote from a Supreme Court justice.
W. Tolman, Tolman, Tom Ocean Lincoln, Mary Adam Nora. This is who he said. 1861 to 1940 was a distinguished justice of the Washington Supreme Court, serving from 1918 to 1937. He's talking about this person who was a Supreme Court justice in 1937. That doesn't mean that laws can't be made in 1937 and still exist today. Some do, but this is where they just throw a lot of words out there that don't really make a lot of sense. And
okay, so let me see if this makes sense, because this is what he said again. I want to make sure that I'm not, see how they just, like, Sergeant Curtis, I'm sorry, bro, but you're not being honest with your audience. I'm sorry I have to invalidate, debunk you, call you out, but you need to, like, get your wisdom, knowledge, and education up so that way you can deliver direct proper information to the 278,000 people that watched your channel, right? Like, I'm sorry, but you need to get your information up. You need to do better research, and you need to present correct information to people, because I'm going to say it one more time. Justice Tolman said this, quote, complete freedom of the highways is so old and well established a blessing. Do you hear how he's talking? This is unquote for a second. You hear how he's talking? A blessing. Why? Because it's within the creator endowed right framework, dude. You're we the people. You're a creation of the creator. That we have forgotten the days of the robber barons and toll roads. He's talking about, don't we remember those days where those people was blocking roads and robbing everybody? It's like y'all forgot about that. That this country has always been free. You've always been free to travel however you see fit. And yet, under an act like this, arbitrarily administered, arbitrarily administered, the highways may be completely monopolized. If through the lack of interest, the people submit, then they may look to see the most sacred of liberties taken from them one by one. Liberties, most sacred liberties. Do you understand? You have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness granted to you. If anyone takes away a liberty, that is what is called irreparable harm, Sergeant Curtis. For all the audience, I want y'all to be able to really start understanding things here. That way you understand the depths of what harm is to you and how you can bring forth the lawsuit. Because you got to remember, you are guaranteed life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All government, all agencies, that is owed to you. They took an oath to it, to both the state's constitution and the federal and the original constitution. Irreparable harm. Irreparable harm is a legal term that refers to harm or injury that cannot be adequately compensated or remedied by a monetary award or damages that may be awarded later. PTSD is irreparable harm. Okay, there's lots of different things that go beyond just harm in relation to physical harm. We're talking about psychological harm, emotional harm. There's lots of different things. And one of those, which we utilize in Title 18, Section 242, okay, which is the deprivation of rights under the color of law, okay, which is also, this comes from the Ku Klux Klan Act. So when people be sitting here and trying to make fun and say, oh, Ku Klux Klan Act, I just want you to know, I study history, y'all. I'm like a historian for real. So I just want y'all to know, again, the Ku Klux Klan Act, okay? The Ku Klux Klan Act, that's what Title 18, Section 242 is for. 1983 claim. It comes from the Ku Klux Klan Act, y'all. That's where it comes from. Comes from Ku Klux Klan Act. Okay? That's how we are able to bring forth our lawsuits. Ku Klux Klan Act. Now we also have irreparable harm, which is the legal term to bring forth a lawsuit if you chose to, right? For any kind of harm that's like PTSD or like anxiety and all that kind of stuff, bro. Like psychological harm to children because you didn't properly do an investigation first. You just arrested first and then asked questions later. You didn't have proof. You had an allegation. Allegations don't just work like that, bro. There needs to be proof of said allegation as well. Again, this irreparable harm that we're looking at, just to make y'all sure, involves deprivation of constitutional rights. So depriving someone of their constitutional rights, such as the right to free speech or due process, may cause irreparable harm that cannot be fully compensated with money, which means other means shall be used. Troy says, Title 18, U.S.C. Section 1952, interstate travel and transportation in aid of racketeering enterprise. Okay. 18 U.S.C. Section 1951, interference with commerce by extortion, Hobbs Act. Oh yeah, you can do some, when you start calling the Hobbs, a Hobbs hearing in or bringing in Hobbs, you can get really powerful with Hobbs, bro. Okay, so Ku Klux Klan Act. So we got through that for you, boy. Okay. And we went through Justice Tolman's quotes. We're going to keep this one up. Oh, no, this is a different one. So, yeah, this one's got my other one with more information. Okay, cool. So, again, this is more. Now, Justice Tolman, the most sacred of liberties, which Justice Tolman spoke of, was the personal liberty which has been placed in conflict with the plaintiff. Okay. The definition of personal liberty is, quote, personal liberty or the right to enjoyment of life, liberty, is one of the fundamental or natural rights which has been, what I just do, bro? Natural rights which has been protected by its inclusion as a guarantee in the various constitution, which is not derived from or dependent on the U.S. Constitution, which may not be submitted to a vote and may not depend on the outcome of an election. It is one of the most sacred and valuable rights, as sacred as the right to private property, and is regarded as inalienable. It's coming out of 16 CJS Constitutional Law, Section 202, page 987. It's deep, isn't it? So it's like, this is where the confusion comes in, though, with people, because most people think that the statutes, the revised statutes, the tickets that they're giving you are said full-on law, and that they supersede and override everything that is the foundation of your rights, natural rights. Okay? This concept is further amplified by definition of personal liberty. Personal liberty largely consists of the right of locomotion. Well, man, I don't see how much more clear I can get than that. This is what's going on under constitutional law, Sergeant Curtis. Sergeant Curtis, this is what's going on under constitutional law, Sergeant Curtis. A personal liberty, which we just read up here, is something that cannot be taken away from in constitutional law, Sergeant Curtis. So when you call me wild for being a sovereign and thinking, oh yeah, he's using terms as commerce and this and that, I'm using terms that come from constitutional law, Sergeant Curtis. Sergeant Curtis, I'm utilizing my personal liberty, my right. Okay? And when I speak of right, I have to really come over here, and really get into it again. Like you didn't want to mention this. When I started defining road and street, you chose not to mention this. And I'm not sure why you did that, but you did that. And so what I'm going to do is show you how it works here within the code, even of the Yakima County. Okay? I'm going to show you how I am getting notice of my rights and the limitations in which the county and its agencies have. Because county road is defined as and means every way, lane, road, street, boulevard, and every way or place or part thereof in the county of Yakima, which is open as a matter of right to public vehicular travel. Now, why is that, Sergeant Curtis? That's because it's my personal liberty. And under constitutional law, Sergeant Curtis, it states that my personal liberty largely consists of the right to locomotion. That means, Sergeant Curtis, I can go where and when I please, only so far as restrained as the rights of others to make it necessary for the welfare of all citizens. You know what that means, Sergeant Curtis? That means I need to be safe on the roads, Sergeant Curtis. Sergeant Curtis, let's get into some case law that even speaks about that real quick. Okay? Let's just get into some case law for you real quick, Sergeant Curtis, right here on page 7. Okay? Let's full screen this bad boy so we can get it big for everybody. Hopefully I'm teaching Sergeant Curtis and his people, right? Hopefully out there he's not going to start violating rights, because people are getting smart and bringing forth lawsuits, Sergeant Curtis. So if you're a sergeant, I just hope you're teaching your team case law here, because you bring up certain case law, but then you don't bring up validating points. You say I'm just doing a word salad, but if I'm a chef, I think right now I'm cooking on your ass. I'm being nice, but I think I'm cooking. I think you're cooked. Quote, no state government entity has the power to allow or deny passage on the highways, byways, or waterways, transporting his vehicles and personal property for either recreation, that means for me just going from point A to point B, or business, but by being subject only to local regulation. Okay, now let's look at the context of the words in and of themselves, i.e. safety, speed limits, abiding by speed limits. Caution, I'm staying within my own lane. I'm looking around and being observant. I'm putting on my blinker. I have both lights on the front and the back. Traffic lights, meaning I abide by stop signs, traffic lights, signals, railroad tracks, yields, road markings, right? Speed limits, etc. Do you see the context of where the limitations are? The rules of the road, essentially, abiding by the speed limits, traffic lights, being safe, staying within your lane. But travel is not a privilege requiring licensing, vehicle registration, or forced insurances, unquote. It is very specific, Sergeant Curtis. This is case law, Sergeant Curtis. I hope we're building our education up, okay? Because right here within this one we was just looking at, which was on March the 25th of last year, okay? While it is true that an officer may order a suspect out of a car during a valid Terry stop meaning that there's a crime, a reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime that has been committed. It doesn't say violation, crime. Such order is only valid if the officer, quote, possesses an articulable and objectively reasonable belief that the suspect is potentially dangerous, unquote. So there has to be a danger element for you to even ask me out the vehicle. Because why? If you've pulled me over for a certain reason, all you are to do is issue the citations for that reason under Rodriguez and Hill and let me go. We ain't even gotten into sovereign citizen yet.
Hope that something sticks.
Then in Yakima County, both the municipal and the county.
Oh, you said I hope that something sticks. Let's hear that. That you trying to talk down on me, so let's hear it one more time.
But this is where they just throw a lot of words out there that don't really make a lot of sense and hope that something sticks.
I promise you, we just made it stick, homeboy. It's called knowledge. Okay? It's called knowledge. It's called studying. It's called looking into case law. It's called understanding your natural rights. It sticks, homeboy. I don't hope. I know. I make myself know because I am.
Then in Yakima County, both the municipal and the county codes, the definition of street or road states that the roads are open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. And I'll pull those up exclusively right now for the municipal code. So that way there's no aspect of dictating that I have to abide by some presumption that y'all state that I have to have a driver's license. That's not true. That's not how it works in law. I know that's what y'all been taught, but that's not how it works on the Supreme Court level. So I like the tickets to be issued and be on my way. This is actually extending beyond the time to issue the citations. He's just running through my name right now. He's not issuing tickets. Because see, I'm already starting to sweat. I don't want to sweat. So I need to get my tickets to go.
There's an officer safety challenge that I'd like to mention. This officer showed up. I didn't see the officer ask the other officer if he was patted down. And I don't see him.
There's no valid Terry stop, homeboy. What do you mean patting down? There's no crime. What you scared of, homeboy? You scared of the education? You scared of the knowledge? Cooking up? I'm a chef, right?
Controlled in any way. He should.
Controlled? You can't control me. There's no crime. What do you need to control? This is what I'm saying. They're teaching we need to control him as though you have authority to control me. All you have authority to do is issue me the citation, bro. You don't need to have control of anybody. You need to have respect. That's what you need to have. Respect.
Be either standing in front of
compassion, unity, integrity, morals. All right, bro. Well, you can't pass on that, on the side. Just don't pass no more on the side like that. Have a good day now. Enjoy it out here. It's nice and we got some good weather. That's how easy this should be, bro. Why is it such a big deal that we need to be issuing out citations? We need to be harming the next person. You don't have what the state of Washington has stated under what we know for those who commercially drive.
the patrol car, not wandering around. And look at the bulkiness in this shirt and reaching inside, grabbing stuff. This is
the bulkiness of his shirt, reaching in and grabbing stuff. Where have you ever seen me reach out and grabbing stuff? My phone, bro? What are you talking about, my G? It's like you just in your mind are believing this like worst case scenario with a dude that's just literally talking.
just not the ideal officer safety practice. LEOs will chime in and tell you that this is not the way that it normally is supposed to be handled. This is not saying they're bad officers. This is merely just to say, how can we do this better to make sure that we go home safely at night? And if we
how can we go? It's turned into how we need to control this situation more. We need to have more authority and demand over this person to make sure that we go home. Look at it's fear tactics. Just total fear tactics, bro. Okay.
Interested in going into law enforcement, what's the best practice for you?
Okay. County road. County 8.0.
So we just read this, right? We just read the county. So let's get into just a little bit more then. Okay. Now that was county. Let's move into the city ordinance as well. Okay. We need to get into the city as well. That's the only one. No, I know Yakima's on here again. Where's it at? Keith, Langley, Linwood, Pasco, Seattle. Yeah. Bro, okay, check it. You can essentially go through all the United States. I mean, look at all these county codes that I had to pull where it shows open as a matter of right for public vehicle. I mean, it's all throughout Washington. Public roadway, open as a matter of right for the general public for the ordinary vehicular traffic, vehicular and pedestrian access, fitted for travel. That is the common use by the public with the consent, expressed or implied. It's like all throughout Washington, it straight up says all through the municipal and all through the counties that everyone has an open as a matter of right to travel. It's a right. It says right. It doesn't say privilege. And it specifically says travel. It doesn't say drive. So that's what I'm not understanding, bro. Like, what don't we get about that? They have to be very specific. You're saying I'm driving. I'm telling you I'm traveling. Because it states all in the municipal and county codes that I have a right to do so. It's open. It's distinguished, bro. Just like it states here in constitutional law. It's a liberty. It's a right that cannot be taken away, bro. Okay? And further, personal liberty consists of the power of locomotion, quote, and changing situations and removing one's person to whatever place one's inclination may direct without imprisonment or restraint unless by due process of law, meaning that a warrant has been executed for my arrest, not a violation that you see under your statutory color of law scheme. That's coming out of Blackstone's commentary, bro. That's coming out of Black Law's dictionary, Sergeant Curtis. Justice Tolman, which you spoke of and validated, was concerned about the state prohibiting the citizen from the most sacred of liberties, the right of movement, the right of moving oneself from place to place without threat of imprisonment by any means, the right to use the public roads in the ordinary course of life. So when the state allows the formation of a corporation, it may control its creation by establishing guidelines, statutes for its operations or charters. Corporations who use the road in the course of business do not use the roads in the ordinary course of life. They're not just traveling from point A to point B. They out here got big rigs and trucks that are damaging our roads beyond just the average and ordinary use of said roads. There is a difference between a corporation and a live individual. The United States Supreme Court has stated, Sergeant Curtis, quote, "We are of the opinion that there is a clear distinction in this particular between an individual and a corporation, and that the latter has no right to refuse to submit its books and papers for examination on the suit of the state. But the individual may stand upon his constitutional rights as a citizen." I'm going to go ahead and say it. Sovereign citizen. He is entitled to carry on his private business in his own way. His power to contract is unlimited, which meaning his power not to contract is unlimited. He owes no duty to the state, meaning I owe no duty to the state to get a driver's license, okay? Or to his neighbors to divulge his business or to open his doors to investigation, so far as it may tend to incriminate him, unless there's a warrant. He owes no such duty to the state since he receives nothing therefrom beyond the protection of his life, my liberty that we just spoke of, which largely consists of the right to locomotion and property. That means my property. You want to deem it in your statutory scheme and suit of armor that you have on your chest as said motor vehicle. But that's not the only definition of what mine is, bro. His rights are such as the law of the land long antecedent to the organization of the state and can only be taken from him by due process of law. That means warrants being issued from probable cause and with a sworn affidavit under oath or affirmation and in accordance with the Constitution. Among his rights are the refusal to incriminate himself. That means if someone pulls me over and I know my rights, I can say I'm retaining all of my rights. I'm reserving my rights to remain silent. I do not want to give my information over. I do not want to give over my name. And the immunity of himself and his property from arrest or seizure except under warrant of law. He owes nothing to the public so long as he does not trespass upon their rights. He owes nothing to the public, whether it be policy for the health, safety. You see what I'm saying? Outside of what we just spoke of in relation to the safety, caution, traffic lights, and speed limits. That's it, bro. You don't get to go outside of that, my G. I'm sorry that you've been taught wrong. I'm sorry that you don't have the proper education in relation to this. It is not my fault. It's not my fault, bro. Okay. We'll go into another one where you say I'm cherry picking, bro, or something like that. I'm cherry picking. I'm word salad here. No, I'm reading case law. Here, the court held. A citizen has a right to travel upon the public highways by automobile, and the citizen cannot be rightfully deprived of his liberty. So where does this misconception that Sergeant Curtis has that the use of the public road is always and only a privilege come from? Well, let's check it out. Let's look into some more history, okay? Quote, for while a citizen has the right to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property thereon, that right does not extend to the use of the highways either in whole or in part as a place for private gain. Again, commerce, bro. That means if I'm over here utilizing the roads back and forth to transport items, people, and or property, for the latter purpose, no person has a vested right to use. No person has a vested right. You hear it? They're saying there is a vested right. But no person has it to use the highways of the state, but as a privilege or a license which the legislature may grant or withhold at its discretion for private gain, broski. Okay, another one. Hit him for the DJ Khaled. The right of the citizen to travel upon the highway and transport his property thereon in the ordinary course of life and business differs radically and obviously from that of one who makes the highway his place of business for private gain in the run of a stagecoach or omnibus. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Do you hear it? All statutes have to be made in pursuance thereof, said Constitution. What is the right of the citizen which differs so radically and obviously, Sergeant Curtis, from the one who uses the highways as a place of business? Who better, again, to enlighten us than Justice Tolman, which you just acted like, oh, he was in 1937 and that's nobody. Bro, Supreme Court Justice. He's way above your pay grade, homeboy. Of the Supreme Court of Washington in State versus Spokane, Supra, the court also noted a very radical and obvious difference, but went on to explain just what that difference is. The former is the usual and ordinary right of the citizen, a common right to all, while the latter is special, unusual, and extraordinary. This distinction, elementary, okay, that means it's basic, it should be known, and fundamental in character, is recognized by all authorities. It's clear. It's not rocket science.
6.010 definitions. For the purpose of this chapter, the following words and phrases shall have been. County road means every way, lane, road, street, boulevard, and every way or place or part thereof in the county of Yakima, open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. That does not mean drive. It means travel. You can travel by any way I see fit because I own these roads. That's how this works. I need him to issue my citation sign. Going down. What all you got for me?
We'll get there.
Hey, look, I wanted to show you something real quick, too, like I was showing.
Nunez.
So I got Yakima County, Washington, subsection 8.06.010 definitions. For the purposes of this chapter, the following words and or phrases shall have the indicated meanings. 1, county road.
Jeff says, case law does not give you rights. It's a court opinion that sometimes recognizes your rights. Case law supports, the opinions support what you're bringing forth and what you're invoking. Okay, when you're, I think it's like when you're in the courts. For me, it's always been that when constitutional violations occur, those are at the forefront. Those get brought up first before we're even talking about any violations. I'm claiming constitutional violations based on the facts. And I need findings of facts and conclusions of law. Okay? Those you get through notices and demands as unconstitutionally applied with points and authorities, right? We got to discuss these constitutional violations on the forefront.
It means every way, lane, road, street, boulevard, and every way or place or part thereof in the county of Yakima, open as a matter of right for public vehicular traffic.
Sir, it's for right now.
Why do you keep interrupting me? I'm talking to you. You said it's okay.
No, I'm trying to talk to you.
Don't
Just
interrupt
let him finish his
Okay, but-
citation. Just let him finish his citation.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is do not interrupt me. I have not committed a crime and I am not suspected of a crime. You don't run me. Okay, you're not over me. I am a good person. You don't get
I'm
to.
not saying you're not.
Okay, so don't try and sit here and tell me what to do. I can do whatever I want to do. I don't violate crimes. So until I violate a crime, you have no authority to tell me what to do. Okay?
You're saying you want to.
Now, see, what's crazy is Sergeant Curtis knows this and has nothing to say. Nothing to say because he knows it's true. So we're just listening at this point.
Get rolling, right? You want to get going?
Yes.
You interrupting him while he's trying to do
He's
his
doing his
citation?
thing.
He's tried to make me look bad to invalidate everything I'm saying, but everything that he tries to invalidate, I just debunked him on.
Just let him know the rules. Y'all don't get
You
taught
don't
the
have
rules.
to tell him his rules. He knows the rules.
He don't. If that was the case,
So this Nunez officer says he knows the rules, but yet when I ask homeboy, hey, do you know about Rodriguez versus United States? He literally said no. So that means he don't know the rules.
why do I have 3 federal cases? If that was the case, why do I got a summary judgment for $1.2 million right now that's about to get paid out? Because cops don't know the rules. You get taught in the academy some, but you don't get taught what the Supreme Court says. And then you're held liable, and he's held liable. And the person that's sitting there is a visitor that's learning what only he knows is liable.
Anyone who's looking at this, tell me if this is an ideal, safe way to handle.
Well, there's nothing to say. See, again, he's going to go into the safety, Cameron moving, Cameron being able to talk, Cameron being free. What do you mean safety, bro? What do you mean safety?
This person. Is this the best place for them to be? The busy road is there on the side, potentially even back behind the office.
There's a sidewalk. Yeah, there's a busy road, but there's also a sidewalk too. Like, what's the problem? We're in a private parking lot, homeboy. What do you mean, dude?
Officer, this is the kind of stuff that I really would like to discuss because there are different ways of definitely doing this.
Because y'all don't.
Well, then let's discuss. Why did you say let's discuss? You don't want to discuss the true reality of what I'm saying. You don't want to validate the truth behind everything we just debunked on you. Everything I just said is true. There's truth to it. That's why there's nothing being said.
I know how this works, and I'm trying to teach you. I have a huge YouTube channel. You want to write down my stuff? You can get involved. You don't want to?
I'm okay.
Okay, you're gonna be hosted on YouTube, just so you know.
That's fine.
All right.
That's
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm not playing that. I'm not no small time guy. This isn't you're gonna violate my rights. I'm not trying to be bold. I'm just trying to tell you that we as the public now have AI. You see what I'm saying? We don't get fooled no more. We can easily search and find the case law that applies to any situation.
AI makes mistakes.
Hey, your AI makes mistakes, homeboy. Your AI makes mistakes, not mine. Because we validate and shepherdize directly with the source. If not 1, 2, 3 sources being found, bro. So when it comes to AI makes mistakes, no, you got it wrong, bro. You better realize people have it figured out. I got it figured out. We're not making mistakes, homeboy. Okay. Ours is validated. Case law is validated, shepherdized. Okay. And with application analysis. Okay. So when it comes down to AI makes mistakes, maybe yours does. Yours does. Nope. Don't. Again, no.
We don't have to go searching for books to immediately find what we need
I'm not even using ChatGPT, homeboy.
to find. And now that we aren't, we ain't getting our rights violated no more. That's how this works. The days of we're going to violate your rights and you're going to do whatever we say, those days are over with. You can do it, but you'll get fired. Believe me, I've already got 3 of them fired. No longer on the force.
Okay.
Brady's list. Can't even go and testify anymore. So what's the point of giving tickets?
Okay, let's talk about Brady's list.
Yeah,
The
let's talk
Brady
about
list
it.
is 100% a legitimate thing. And as an officer, you do not want to be on the Brady list. I mean, that's a career killer in a lot of different ways. The Brady list is a database maintained by prosecutors containing the names of law enforcement officers with records of misconduct, such as dishonesty, which is mostly, in most jurisdictions, a terminatable offense. You can get terminated for dishonesty. Bias or evidence tampering, another terminatable offense, originating from a 1963 Supreme Court case, Brady versus Maryland. Maryland, prosecutors are constitutionally required to disclose exculpatory or impeachment evidence to the defense. If an officer is on a Brady list, getting promoted and all that other kind of stuff is usually out the door. And you can actually look up, there are databases of officers that are on the Brady list. And if you know of an officer and you have questions about them, you can put in their name and see if they're on the Brady list. Not a good place to be. So he's right about the fact that the Brady list exists. Did he get people placed on the Brady list? It's doubtful from the
Why is it doubtful? Why is it doubtful?
way that he's acting.
From the way that he's acting, it's doubtful that I've had people placed on the Brady list. That, bro, everything is to invalidate the truth. It's to take me and say, he's not saying anything right when I'm saying everything right.
The public ain't playing with it no more. And it seems like you a good cop, so I ain't got nothing to say bad about you. Did you see a driver's license?
I saw it suspended.
Wait. I don't have no driver's license. I've never applied, so there's no suspension. You better look again because Cameron's never applied, and I don't have a picture. So you better write the ticket right because I don't have no license, brother. They suspended the right to apply. Do you show me
Suspended.
I have a driver's license? Do I have applied? Do you have a picture?
In the state of Washington, no.
Okay, that means I've never applied.
Okay.
If there's no picture, then I've never applied for a license, so I can't have a suspended license. What happened is the state of Washington, through their DMV, which is under the AAMVA, which is a private member association, has put in their system a clear.
Okay, now what we'll see is look at Sergeant Curtis up here. He wants to shake his head like I don't know what I'm talking about. He don't know what I'm talking about. Again, they think it's word salad.
Never applied for a license, so I can't have a suspended license. What happened is the state of Washington, through their DMV, which is under the AAMVA, which is a private member association, has put in their system.
Okay, so right here, when I say AAMVA, Sergeant Curtis is shaking his head like he don't know what I'm talking about. Come on, Sergeant Curtis. You know about the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators. You know that this is a private organization and is not, this is not a government agency whatsoever. You know that there's 4 districts. Maybe you don't, but I'm teaching you then. You know there's 4 districts that cover Mexico, United States, and Canada. You know that they create maybe you don't, but you know that they create the policy and legislature to make sure, right, that they go ahead and issue out information. But did you know that we've got the manual, homeboy? Let's go ahead and look at what the manual says as far as what the definition of drive is, since they're over all the DMVs. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. You got to get your education up. Once your education gets up, you get that code, dictionary, and manual, and you start really looking at things and doing proper research. You want to give out proper educational information. That way you don't make mistakes to people out here that you're trying to say you're educating, right? I'm always trying to give the most factual information that I can that I'm able to find. Why? Because I need to be accurate in my statements. I don't want to be out here looking fooly-dooly based on something somebody else told me, bro. I want to be out here giving the information that I found and validated myself because I ain't trying to be wrong. If I am wrong, guess what? I'm going to move like a bamboo and say, hey, I'm wrong. I don't have a problem with that. And that's going to be the biggest problem with all these people that I'm trying to bring together with proper education is that they don't want to say, oh, well, I was wrong. Everybody wants to be right all the time. Please, bro, if I'm wrong, just correct me. I don't mind changing up and I'm wrong. Somebody did that the other day and I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. But let's look at the definition of drive under the AAMVA, which is a private member association that oversees the policy and procedures of the DMVs all throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Note, driving is now defined in the federal regulations as, quote, operating a commercial motor vehicle on a highway, including while temporarily stationary because of traffic, a traffic control device, or other momentary delays. Do you understand that it says operating a commercial motor vehicle on a highway? Commercial. Dude. I can go deeper and deeper and deeper. You want to say 1937? Let's talk about the code dictionary of the AAMVA, which again oversees the DMVs, bro. Hopefully I'm cooking. I don't know. Y'all tell me in the chat. If I'm cooking right now, y'all put a 1 in the chat. I usually don't do this, but if I'm cooking up on Sergeant Curtis, y'all put a 1 in the chat. Because I feel like I'm cooking right now on Sergeant Curtis, man. For real.
them a clarifying number to try and identify me, and then state that my right to apply for a driver's license would be suspended.
Even better.
Well, I've never applied. It's
That's
not
fine.
better.
It is.
How is it better?
Because you're no valid operator's license without ID.
What do you mean ID? I don't need that. I did ID. I gave you my ID.
Without physical identification.
You don't have to have
Yes, you do. In the state of Washington, you do. Go ahead and look up the RCW.
the RCW?
Yep.
Let me ask you this. If I have the right to self-govern and I'm free, how am I required to do anything?
That's a conversation that you're going to have with the judge,
Well,
not me.
Well, I won't have it with the judge here because I'll actually move.
See, the problem is they don't care. You'll have to have that conversation with the judge. Okay, all right, issue my citation. Let me go.
It up to federal court because I don't play with municipalities.
That's
Here's the
fine.
judge here.
Like I said, no, just stop. Are
He's
you
talking
recording
back.
right now? Are you recording right
Always.
now? Okay.
So the judge hears
You
nothing.
can't be recording if he's on his computer right now.
I can record anything I can see. You can't tell me that.
That's information you cannot be seeing.
Then he needs to hide it. That's not my fault.
That's why another reason he shouldn't be looking inside of the patrol car there. There's a lot of reasons this is not good.
What are you talking about? I have the right to record. That's a First Amendment right. You know that, right?
I understand.
Okay,
that,
I can write whatever I see. I can record whatever I see.
That's fine.
I know it's fine.
He's writing your citation. Why don't you wait to talk to him once he's done?
Because this is how it works. As soon as you don't hear? As soon as I go and talk to him, he's going to answer 2 questions and walk away and say, have a good day. He's not going to answer my questions after I'm done. That's
He's
all. No, that's what every one of them do. Oh, we've issued the citations. We don't want to talk no more. Bye. You don't want to answer questions. Have I committed a crime? Am I suspected of a crime? Do I have a contract with the state to abide by the driver's license codes? No. So everything right now is actually a constitutional violation because I've advised him that I don't have a driver's license. He knows that I don't have a driver's license, yet he's issuing me citations in a presumption and assumption that I'm utilizing these roads in a commercial capacity.
Okay, that's what they're doing, right? That's what we just read, right? We just read that there's a clear distinction. It's radically and obviously different from one who uses the highway as a place of business rather than just traveling. Okay? It's elementary. Okay? I have a right. It's not a privilege, bro. It's a right.
Because drive, by Black Law's Dictionary and by the federal courts, has dictated that you must be on these roads in a commercial fashion. Do you want to know the exact definition?
Look, he's shaking his head no. He thinks it's a real joke, bro. He thinks it's a real joke. Okay, so we're going to do archive. I'm going to look at it on the archive real quick. Do y'all got it in the archive for me real quick? They're going to try and make this one. Let's just do this one then. You're now being redirected. Hopefully it takes me right to it. 6th edition without giving me issues here. No, it's not. Whatever this is. Okay. I'm going to do it like this. I got it right here in front of me. Okay. So I'll just do it like that. I'll go full screen real quick. Cancel. Okay. We're going to go into Black's Law. Okay. We're going to go into Black's Law real quick. Bring this down. We're going to go into Black's Law. Okay. Drive or driver. They're saying I'm driving. I must then be a driver. Driver. The first 2 words. One employed. One employed in conducting or operating a coach, carriage, or wagon or other vehicle. One employed. I don't know what you shaking your head for, homeboy. Sergeant Curtis, please, can we get our education up? Please, we need education back to our community, back to your children, back to your grandchildren. You need to understand that we've been getting duped out here. Your responsibility is literally only to make sure that my life, liberty, and my property is being taken care of. That's your job. That's your only job, homeboy. Dang, it did it again on share screen. It's messing up on YouTube. Look at this, bro. It's doing it again. I'm going to have to reconnect. It won't let me share screen again. Yeah, it's cool. I'm back. All right. Sometimes YouTube's messing up with the share. Every time I do a share of my screen, it's tripping out. So it's making me reconnect for some reason. It's acting weird. Just letting y'all know. All right. So we're back. And yeah, we just went into a lot of that. All right. So now I got to find the place we was at again.
So often we've seen sovereigns mix and match the laws and words.
You know, and since he's doing that, he's called me a sovereign in his title. You see, he's called me a sovereign citizen lawyer, not attorney. I stated it very clearly that I was an attorney, in fact. But let's look at the term sovereign citizen. Please, let's look at the term sovereign citizen. Everybody wants to throw that word around very crazy like. And I want to show you what's going on, Sergeant Curtis. This is a joint resolution from 1940. Okay. This joint resolution that was signed by the president is authorizing the president of the United States of America to proclaim I am an American Citizenship Day for the recognition, observance, and commemoration of American citizenship. This American Citizenship Day, bro, is still active to this day. Okay. I hope you understand that. All right. So whereas this is the preamble. Okay. Preamble. Whereas some 2 million young men and women in the United States each year reach the age of 21 years, and whereas it is desirable that the sovereign citizens of our nation be prepared for the responsibilities and impressed with the significance of their status in our self-governing republic. I think you have the understanding and comprehension of sovereign citizen a little wrong, Sergeant Curtis. I think the definition that the FBI gave you, the reclassification, which you can't just reclassify a name because you're an agency called the FBI, is a little bit misconstrued, homeboy. Okay? Because we live in an America. America is self-governing. Maybe you should go get my book and understand how America is a self-governing republic. That's where we live, Sergeant Curtis. We got natural rights. We got God-given rights. Then maybe once you understand how this is a self-governing republic, then Sergeant Curtis, maybe you can go get my other book called The Sovereign Citizen of the Land. So you can understand that is desirable, right? Let's look again at this joint resolution one more time for you, Sergeant Curtis. I want you to understand the depths of reality. Oh, again, every time I go back to share screen, it just don't want to work. I don't get it, bro. Dang. So now I can't stop sharing screen to share screen again. I just got to keep it on share screen from now on. Jeez, bro. YouTube, why are you doing this to me today, bro? You're not doing me good. Right now, I can't even get this tab to get out of full screen for some reason. Can I share? No? Well, let me share. We'll have to reload again. This is ridiculous, bro. Select all, copy. Chrome. YouTube tripping. Yeah, so I'm gonna just share screen and not back away from sharing screen anymore because apparently it's just not working for you, boy. Like I wanted to. So we'll continue on. So hopefully,
so often we've seen sovereigns mix and match the laws and words and put them the way that.
Hopefully, Sergeant Curtis, you're learning something here today, right? Because in this joint resolution signed by the president, it says it's desirable for the sovereign citizens of our nation to be prepared for the responsibilities and impressed with the significance of their status as they reach the age of 21 within our self-governing republic. That means we self-govern ourselves. Okay, Sergeant Curtis? So maybe you need to, again, just not to be rude, bump the game up as far as intelligence a little bit. You can't be ignorant forever, bro. You got to move your game up. You got to step your game up, right? Because you don't want to be held liable for people like me who are smart enough to articulate that what you're causing out here to people is irreparable harm. Okay? It's irreparable harm. You're violating my constitutional rights. You're depriving me of my constitutional rights. And anytime you deprive me of my constitutional rights in any form or fashion, okay, we're going to bring forth a Title 18, Section 242, 1983 claim under the deprivation of rights under color of law. Okay? Because whoever under the color of law, of any law or statute or ordinance, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district, the deprivation of rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution or the laws of the United States shall be fined or imprisoned. Okay? We will get compensated. Okay? Because why is that? Ignorance of the law is no excuse, bro. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, bro. Okay? Let me give you another case law to show you what's going on. That you have no immunity. There's no excuse. You can't just be out here being like, "Oh, well, I didn't know, and it's my fault." If you're affecting over here, let me read some case law for you, Sergeant Curtis. Quote: "The officers of the law, that means you and all those that you're directing out here, and the 273,000 people that watch this video." When you're saying I'm giving false allegations and misconstruing words and doing a word salad, no, you're lying. You're actively lying to your fan base, to your subscribers, because the officers of the law in the execution of process are required to know the requirements of the law. And if they mistake them, whether it's through ignorance or design, whether you know or not, Sergeant Curtis, and anyone is harmed by their error, that means any kind of irreparable harm. I'm suffering PTSD. I'm suffering anxiety. I'm suffering in any kind of mental capacity as well. They must respond in damages, unquote. That means lawsuit, homeboy. All I have to do is articulate it. Hope we're getting somewhere with our comprehension today.
That they want to, and most of the time they're really not very good. Sometimes it's very laughable, but sometimes you meet the
Works. As soon as you don't hear. No. So everything right now is actually a constitutional violation because I've advised him that I don't have a driver's license. He knows that I don't have a driver's license, yet he's issuing me citations in a presumption and assumption that I'm utilizing these roads in a commercial capacity. Because drive, by Black Law's Dictionary and by the federal courts, has dictated that you must be on these roads in a commercial fashion. Do you want?
Now, I just showed y'all both Black Law's Dictionary and the federal interpretation. The AAMVA on there, that was a quote from a federal case.
Know the exact definition of drive?
He is tossing the salad. So Black's Law Dictionary actually exists. Most of you already know that. I've mentioned in other videos. I think that the latest one is like 2019. I think it's the 11th edition of it. And it does have legal terms. But what happens is that sovereigns cherry pick, misconstrue.
See, again, here he is defaming me. He's calling me a sovereign citizen in his derogatory manner. Okay. So right now it's like, nobody's claimed that I'm a sovereign citizen in this video, but you. That's derogatory. You're mischaracterizing my character. I'm an attorney, in fact.
And put things where they want to and toss that salad. And this is what ends up happening on a car stop.
There you go. One employed.
What ends up happening? One gets an education. One gets some education. You're going to get some education around me. I educate them all. Because again, we have to start unifying the police and the people again. We need to stop having the police believe that just harming people with these fines and towing their vehicles and I mean it's beyond American. It's beyond the morality that we are all under God. In God that we trust. In God we are one. I am you and we are us. It's ridiculous, bro.
Defined as driver. One employed.
Where are you getting this information from?
From Black Law's Dictionary. That's how it works. I'm not employed. That's how it works. I don't use these roads in a commercial capacity. I am free to use these roads in any way I see fit because they're open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. Him, you, all you, you're presuming that I'm driving because that's all you've been taught. You don't know the distinction between driving versus traveling, which the Attorney General here in Washington has clarified through many opinions. Not only that, you get the Supreme Court justice.
Now they keep, they tell me, I'm telling them, about the AGO, right? So which one is this one? Memorandum. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, here we go. The futility of the state's position can be most easily observed in the 1959 Washington Attorney General's opinion on a similar issue. Quote, the distinction between the right of the citizen to use the public highways for private rather than commercial purposes is recognized. And, quote, under its power to regulate private uses of our highways, our legislature has required that motor vehicle operators be licensed. Undoubtedly, the primary purpose of this requirement is to ensure, as far as possible, that all motor vehicle operators will be competent and qualified, thereby reducing potential hazard of risk of harm to which other users of the highways might be otherwise subject. But once having complied with the regulatory provision by obtaining the required license, a motorist enjoys the privilege of traveling freely upon the highways. This alarming opinion appears to be saying that every person of the automobile, as a matter of right, must give up that right to convert the right into a privilege. But you see how it goes in contrast. Where rights are secured by the Constitution and are involved, there can be no rulemaking or legislation that would abrogate them, right? So the law is the law, but then you got other aspects too that's making it outside of source. Just my opinions, but some opinions are right. So I need to see. There should be another one in here too. This is my petition of law. Abrogate them. Boom. The titles of nobility. I'm not gonna go through titles of nobility right now because that gets into a deeper topic I have to go into for a while.
Toleman, Toleman, who has stated you cannot. There's a clear distinction between driving and traveling. I'm traveling right now. I am in. See, I don't understand what's creator endowed right. Don't know. Do you know what natural rights are?
Go ahead and tell me.
I don't need to tell you. That's what your city should be teaching you. What is a natural right?
You know everything. So
I don't know everything, but I do know my rights, and I'm not going to allow my rights to be violated.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So check this out. You're gonna get a court date in the mail for operating a motor vehicle without a
show up.
That's fine. Then there will be a warrant issued for your arrest.
No, there won't, because I'm going to send in a notice of appeal on the constitutional violations that have advised you of my rights, that I'm using these roads open as a matter of.
Now, what I want y'all to notice is there's only one page that this dude is giving me. Okay. This is 2 pages. That's number one. And this is 2 pages. So he gave me a notice of an infraction, which was the first page on the tickets, but he wrote a charge for that was like a class B. It wasn't just an infraction, but never gave me that piece of paper.
Right. The travel. Then I'm going to put in a notice of demand to remove it to a
Very
federal court
important.
and change it.
He did that on purpose. He did it on purpose. He intentionally did not give me page 2 for the other charge. He only gave me information based on the citation in and of itself.
You because you're not honoring my rights. There was nobody that was harmed. You have no complainant. You have no verified victim whatsoever. There's no statement of a public complaining. So right now it's you.
So this is all the conversation that you're going to have with the judge.
I'm telling you because the body camera's on.
You can tell the body camera all you want. I'm telling you that you're going to get a court date for no valid operator's license.
Right.
Without ID.
Right.
Because you told me you don't have one.
I don't.
Additionally, I got you for improper passing on the right. Okay. And no insurance.
Great. I have a surety bond.
What's that?
I have a surety bond.
Oh, okay.
It's for $30,000.
All right. Hey, if you drive, you can be arrested.
I'm not driving.
But you are driving.
No. The definition of driving
Dude,
is one employed.
that is...
Okay, I'm done. Leave me alone. See something this is. I'm not going to argue about my rights, bro. You're not going to dictate when you're saying something. I reserve all rights, including my right to remain silent, and you're not going to take those from me. I'm not driving. Get the definition right, bro. What's going on? What are y'all doing? You good? We good?
I'm just waiting for you to travel away.
Why, you gonna pull me over again?
Yeah.
That's harassment.
No, that's another criminal offense.
Okay, what is a crime?
What is a crime?
Yeah, traffic infractions are not crimes, right?
Actually, driving without a valid...
People versus ballot.
Hey, can you just listen for a second?
The people versus battle, what he's likely referring to is a 1970.
Likely? Bro, quit saying likely. Quit giving likely. Just get the information, bro. Traffic infractions are not crimes. Okay. Stop. Just give the people the accurate information, bro. Just give it to them. Why do we have to? Why? People versus battle. I got to put that in there. People versus battle. Well, I guess we're the only ones that are really talking about it. And you search that and nope, there's nothing popping off. Can't even get the quote. Jeez. Can't even get the quote from the case. That's wild. Back. Take off the parentheses. See what happens. Traffic infractions are not crimes. Well, I think I can look at it right here. I think I have it here. Let's see. Not crimes. Nope, not that one. People versus battle. It is. It's right here. Well, why did it not say it? Okay. So go down. Nope, gotta go up. Where it was just there. I just had it. Find crimes. Traffic infractions. There it goes. Okay. Traffic infractions are not a crime. People versus battle. To this end, the Fourth Amendment requires that the seizure must be based on specific objective facts indicating that society's legitimate interests require the seizure of the particular person, or that seizure must be carried out pursuant to the plan and binding explicit and neutral limitations on the conduct of the individual officers. Traffic infractions are not a crime. It's not likely that I'm referring to. That's the direct quote. Okay? It's not cherry picking, bro. We're speaking factual over here.
California case. There are multiple people versus battle, but he's talking about the 1975 one, I believe, from California. It's like a silver bullet to them there, where they argue that traffic violations are minor and not considered crimes, and therefore the police don't have the right to interact with them as though they've committed a crime. And that's why you'll hear them throw that one out many times, and I believe that's what he's referring to.
No, but
Yeah. And is it true or not true? Is it true or is it not true?
because you're trying to
Driving?
presume.
I'm not presuming anything.
You're presuming I'm driving. But
that
you don't know the definition of driving.
you're driving. You're literally. It is written operating a motor vehicle. That
That
vehicle
is not a
has-
motor vehicle.
Is that a vehicle with a motor?
Okay, do you know the definition of a motor vehicle?
That's it right there.
That
is
is
a
not,
vehicle
dude.
with a motor.
Papa Bear.
Show me where the motor's not at.
Okay, just because you
So you see, he's not talking about legalese definition. He's talking about his own common Webster's dictionary. Tell me where there's not a motor on that vehicle. It's like, bro, but first off, you understand motor vehicle is a commercial vehicle.
do something.
That's the
Listen, okay,
definition.
I'm gonna be cool. Let me be cool for a second. I get it, dude. I get that they don't teach y'all. I get it. I am an attorney.
All right.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, bro. I am an attorney, bro. What don't you understand? Do you want me to show you the federal cases?
I would have asked him for his bar number. He's claiming to be an attorney, and I would have my doubts. I'll say, hey, what's your bar number?
What do you want me to do? You want me to
I don't need a bar number to be attorney in fact, bro. What is, let's look it up real quick. What is an attorney in fact? Okay. Attorney in fact. Okay. An attorney in fact is a person or agent authorized to act on behalf of another, the principal, through the legal document called the power of attorney. They are authorized to manage financial, legal, or medical affairs as to the specified in this document. Okay. I have a corporate person in all caps with a social security number, and then I am a natural man. I, as the natural man, am an attorney in fact over my estate. It's very simple, bro. Okay. Attorney in fact does not practice law unless they are a licensed attorney. I don't practice law, bro. I don't represent other people. I'm an attorney in fact over myself. I handle my own affairs.
show you the millions of people
I'm going to
that
tell you that if you get back on this vehicle,
you're not even in a
this motor
jurisdiction. You're in Yakima.
I don't care. I saw what you did.
You don't care. So that's on your body cam.
I
You
saw-
don't care.
I am
That's
dealing
not
with
gonna
you
fly in
right now.
court.
Let it.
Why? Why don't
stopped
you want to just
for-
uphold my rights?
I'm not. Nobody's interfering with your rights.
You took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. You took an oath to uphold the Constitution of Washington, yet you're allowing statutes that do not override my constitutional rights to dictate how you act because you feel as though you need to have authority over
No,
me.
I don't.
Then why are you harassing?
Because you committed a criminal
Dude,
offense.
people versus battle.
He just said because you just committed a criminal infraction. Bro, can you pick which one it is? Is it an infraction or is it a crime? Okay, can we figure, you see what I'm saying? Let's talk about real world word salad here, Sergeant Curtis. The word salad is the officer saying you committed a criminal infraction. No, I didn't, bro. We just read again, traffic infractions are not crimes. Hello?
Okay,
That is
1952
for-
states.
Do you want me to
Traffic-
do you want me to get a supervisor over here?
I don't. I
Why?
don't need you
Why
to
don't you
tell
want a
me. I
supervisor?
am because I win in federal court. I win in municipal courts. I don't need you to presume and act like somebody else telling me is going to invalidate what people way above your pay grade says. So, like, that's what I'm not understanding. You're
So
over
what
here
I'm
in
telling
Yakima
you-
telling me that if I drive on
Because
Gap,
I stopped you for a criminal offense that you committed
Dude,
in
you
the city
keep-
of Union Gap.
you keep saying criminal.
Yeah, that's what driving,
That's just-
operating a motor vehicle
That's not a
without
crime.
valid
That's an
operator.
infraction.
Without ID is a crime.
It's
It
not
is a
crime.
misdemeanor.
The definition of crime is bringing harm to another. That shows the ignorance that you have in relation
No, the
to
ignorance
our
is me
state
arguing with
statutes
you right now.
and our freedom
All right.
here in America.
Give me 1 second. You can take off. You're good.
I'm going to get an Uber because you're just harassing me.
Yeah, get over.
I will.
Totally avoidable. This guy really believes this. So I told you there's different.
Yeah, I really believe it, and I just really proved it to you too. I really just debunked everything you had to say about me today. Sergeant Curtis, what I want to do is I want to advise you to stop lying to your audience. Stop making your audience not like educate your audience correctly. Do it the right way, please. I debunked you on your sovereign citizen claim with true history. I debunked you on your statements and claims that you've made throughout this thing. I'm not going to ridicule you. I'm just going to say, please get your education up so that your audience knows the truth rather than your ignorance of the truth. Because people need information, truly, the right, correct information, so that they can understand that I am you and we are us and we are all a part of this great I am an experience, which is God. And I need you to really start giving people sound information so that not only can they do better, but you can do better. Then we can stop getting the mistreatment across our communities of people who are true law abiding citizens, who are true sovereign citizens, who live within a self-governing republic. Again, I want y'all to remember that I am you, we are us, we are all a part of this great I am. I love all of you. I want all of you to do the best and be the best that you can be. Sergeant Curtis, you ever want to have a conversation, not a debate, on how we can improve our relationship between law enforcement, colorable law enforcement, and our communities? I would love to do so, bro, at any time. I just want y'all to remember, I love y'all so much. I'm out here fighting and doing whatever I can for y'all. Down in the description, you can join the Discord. We're working on traffic law reform, okay, and its petition. All the links are in the description if you need me for any form or fashion. Remember, I love y'all. Peace and blessings, okay? We'll see y'all on the next one.